This game is awful. And to prove that the console isn't the problem, which I am sure none of you were thinking, I'm gonna take a look at Revenge of the Sith for the Game Boy Advance, show you a Star Wars game done right on the platform. I think I can go all the way through, and actually 100% LEGO Marvel Superheroes on Nintendo DS. I did it. 7 years of trauma, finally over! I've done it! I should go make a certificate to celebrate! What a piece of garbage.
Then you must die!
Die! What a piece of crap. Hey God, just leave me alone! Hold on, buddy. Why are you taking my credit?
The Xbox is going to be fantastic.
Really? So can I have a righteous place in your collection?
You know what? Sure. I do have a place for you. Obviously, LEGO sets need something to come in. I mean, technically, they could just give you a bag with pieces, but that's just asking for trouble. I mean, I could mistake it for rice. Oh God! Oh, come on! Most LEGO sets, of course, come in boxes, and these are really cool from the standpoint of a casual fan or a collector. LEGO set boxes show the ideal way for a set to be displayed, usually with its figures out and about in action. It's made to look appealing, but man, these things take up too much space. I love LEGO set boxes. I've been keeping mine since early 2015 or so when I really got into collecting LEGOs. At the beginning, it was fairly tolerable to have these lying around, but as the years went on and I was buying bigger and bigger sets, they just took up too much space. I tried a few things to have them take up less room, hide them behind a filming setup, stack them up behind a desk, store the smaller ones in these blue bins and the bigger ones on top. But even then, it took up too much space. It got to the point where I was stacking furniture to make space, and when we renovated my room in summer 2020, I moved the two bins to our attic. It's sad to see them just sitting here, but the amount of space they take up compared to what they add just isn't worth it in my opinion. One day I dreamed to have enough space to display them and not just hide them in a bin, but for now, with just a room for my stuff, they take up too much space. Some may say throw them away. No! I understand why people do that. Some people see it as nothing more than a box. They just care about what's inside, and I understand that, but I just don't want to get rid of them. It's like game console boxes and old school game boxes. They're just cardboard, and once you have the contents, they're useless, but they're also collector's pieces. Plus, they also house $100 sets, and that's just too much of an investment for me to just throw them away. I mean, what do I look like? Someone that wastes money? Hey, what the hell? Oh my gosh, guys. Frames are expensive.
My bad.
That was you? Really?
Are frames really expensive?
No, not really. I just don't want to go to the dollar store.
Have you tried to live in a place where on the wall it just says, "You suck"? I mean, you treat me like I'm the worst thing ever.
The worst thing ever?
Yeah, or at least the worst game ever.
I mean, you're bad. You're definitely not good. And you're definitely one of the worst things. But you're not the worst thing.
Really? Then what is?
What lies in here is the most evil thing ever made, forged in hell by Satan himself. It should never be opened again, but I'm making an exception for you.
Is it worse than Assassin's Creed 2?
Much worse. This is the worst thing ever made.
Have you whined about it?
For 8 whole minutes.
That's nothing compared to what you did to me. Whine more.
I think I've whined enough this year.
Come on, when did you even talk about it in the first place?
Exactly 1 year ago. Wait.
And to prove that the console isn't the problem, which I am sure none of you were thinking, I'm gonna take a look at Revenge of the Sith for the Game Boy Advance, show you a Star Wars game done right on the platform.
Ah, shoot, I still have to talk about Revenge of the Sith on Game Boy Advance. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith is the third and final film in the Star Wars prequel trilogy. It's commonly agreed to be the best of the prequels, and for good reason. It's a good-ass movie. It's been my favorite Star Wars movie for as long as I can remember. Hell, one of my earliest memories is watching the scene where R2-D2 caught the SPDs on fire. One thing that Revenge of the Sith excels at are the action scenes. There are plenty, and they are very entertaining, so of course Revenge of the Sith would make for a great game. The console version is commonly talked fondly about, and I'm sure it's a good game and I'd love to play it someday, but the Revenge of the Sith game I have is the Game Boy Advance version. Welcome back to Gaming on the Go, where I take a look at the portable version of a game or game series and tell you if...
Nicus, what are you doing?
A year ago I said I'd talk about the Revenge of the Sith game for Game Boy Advance, and a year later, I still haven't.
Oh, is it a bad game too?
No. It's actually one of the best Game Boy Advance games.
Better than Mother 3?
So here we go, Revenge of the Sith for Game Boy Advance. Oh god. Yeah, this isn't a great first impression. Ubisoft? Really? Well, as I said when whining about Ass Game 2, Ubisoft is alright, and this is a game where they actually succeeded. Yeah, I mean, the music does stink, but trust me, this game is good! Yeah, the music is stinky, but think of it this way. Attack of the Clones had pretty good music for a Game Boy Advance game. But the gameplay itself was bad. This is the opposite. The cutscenes are well optimized for the Game Boy Advance. They fit with the art style, and speaking of the art style, oh man is this good. It looks a bit like the 2003 Clone Wars animations, which are gorgeous. I adore how they went with a less realistic, more cartoony art style. After all, this is the Game Boy Advance. These cartoonish graphics fit perfectly with the console. It's colorful and vibrant, and the characters don't take up half the screen. All these characters have these little characterized profiles for dialogue, and once again, just the art style is so good. I think the worst looking is Mace Windu, and he's not that bad, he just looks a bit too young, but he still looks pretty good. Man, look at Palpatine! Oh no, look at Grievous! Dude is huge! Alright, let's just take a few steps back first. Before you start playing, you choose between Anakin and Obi-Wan, and you play the whole game as them. They each have unique missions as the two characters had different plots in the movie. This is reason to replay the game, as if it needed another one. You can also select difficulty, they're Star Wars themed. Padawan and Jedi are unlocked by default, and completing the game as one of the characters unlocks Master difficulty. And once you select your character and the cutscene plays, we get a neat little title card which has a Star Wars quote. The gameplay itself? Pure brilliance. It's a side-scrolling beat-em-up in the style of many old arcade games. You walk to the right, just demolishing enemies. You can also move up and down, which makes the combat even more fun. Alright, here we go. The combat system in Attack of the Clones was unbelievably garbage. You didn't just attack by pressing a button, you had to hold the button and press a direction. And on top of that, the button used to attack was A. Here, you press B and they attack. It feels buttery smooth and it's so fun ripping through enemies, and there's other aspects of combat like blocking. You can block to protect yourself from a melee and ranged attack, but if you block a blaster shot at the right second, it will be reflected back at the enemy. It's a brilliant risk versus reward system. You can do some simple blocks to ensure protection, but have to do more damage to the enemy. Or you can risk blocking late to do some extra damage. Honestly, I can't even do this system justice, it's just too damn good. And then the lightsaber duels. The duel system, absolute brilliance. The way it works is in order to land a blow on the boss, you have to successfully block an attack. The boss holds their weapon in a certain way, and you have to figure if you need to do a high or low block. After doing so, the boss doesn't block and you can land blows for a brief amount of time. It's incredibly simple, but it's fair, unlike Dooku in Attack of the Clones. Not only that, but the attacks from each boss are unique and fun. The animations look great too. My favorite levels are the Jedi Temple levels on Anakin's side. You get to kill kids and you get to battle enemies with lightsabers in a standard level. It's wonderful. Each standard level is incredibly simple. Just head to the right and kill all the enemies. But it's fun. The levels in Attack of the Clones were all repetitive and boring. They consisted of walking to the right, killing some enemies, and so on and so forth. At its core, Revenge of the Sith is the same, but the combat is just so much better. It's so much smoother, there's so many more moves to pull off, the sound effects are also really nice. You can also upgrade your character with this game's kind of currency. These green things can be attained in 3 ways. You can destroy random environment parts like a wall or statue, these are bonus green points. You also get some from beating a level quickly and beating the level Jedi-like. What does beating a level Jedi-like mean? I have no idea. I assume it's doing a bunch of crazy combos and stuff, jumping all around, avoiding getting hit, but after a level you go to the upgrade screen and you can upgrade and unlock a variety of things. Force Heal, Lightsaber Throw, Force Choke, these make the game easier and more fun. Also after each level you can boost your health, force, or strength. I love this because if you keep on dying you can just upgrade your health. If you feel like you never have enough force, you can upgrade that. The way health and lives are handled in this game, perfect. Back to tanks restore your health, random enemies drop them, and random things you destroy drop them. And when you die, watch where you respawn. You have a handful of lives, and only when you run out of lives are you forced to restart a level. It's honestly so dang nice, and it makes the game feel so much more fair. It's surprising, but it's also just so wonderful.
How could it get any better?
The Nintendo DS was released in 2004, a solid year before Revenge of the Sith released. So of course Revenge of the Sith was released on the DS. But this isn't a Spider-Man 3 situation where the Game Boy Advance and DS versions are vastly different. Here, the DS version is mostly the same, but now on the DS! You have some basic changes, a lot of the UIs changed, allowing touchscreen to be used. In the non-boss levels on the bottom screen, you have icons to do your special moves, which I totally forgot to mention. Yes, you kill enemies, this little meter fills up, and at certain points you can do certain special moves which deal a good amount of damage. In the Game Boy Advance version, you had to learn the correct button combo, but here, you just press it. On boss levels, it just shows this lame thing on the bottom screen. Thank you. The DS version also has better music. And on top of all that, vehicle segments. Before some levels you have to complete a vehicle segment. Some are flying through Coruscant, some are destroying enemy ships before leaving a planet, all are great. This is incredibly impressive for the DS, it controls quite smoothly, and it leads to the greatest multiplayer mode in any game. Multiplayer here are ship battles between you and up to 3 other players.
Ooh, can I play?
Oh, sorry, I only have 1 cartridge. You can watch though. Of course, who wants to play this on December 29th, 2021, but you can play this alone? You can set up bots to play with in a skirmish mode, and I sunk so much time into this late 2017, early 2018. You have a bunch of control options. You can choose the map, if you want it to be timed, if you want to limit lives, and how many points are needed for the game to end. And past that, you can choose between a huge variety of starships with different paint jobs. You can set up teams, set up bots, adjust their difficulty, then boom, Nirvana. This, with the updated UI and better music, makes this better than the Game Boy Advance version. And that's not meant to downtalk the Game Boy Advance version. It's still a wonderful side-scroller beat-em-up, but this is the same game with starship stuff and better music.
Huh. I guess it is good. Wait, could you show me how bad Attack of the Clones is?
Oh no! I am never touching that piece of garbage again.
Come on, please.
Ugh, fine! So this is a f***ing piece of shit formed in the fires of hell by the goddamn motherfucking walking pile of goat shit Satan that likes to go by Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clones for Game Boy Advance. Developed by David A. Palmer Productions, it was announced in February 2002 by THQ and released later that May. The game is a 2D side-scroller, and a bad one at that. A majority of the gameplay involves walking to the right, killing enemies, rinse and repeat. It's so repetitive, and the bad controls only make it worse. I briefly mentioned this, but to attack, you hold A, then press the direction you want to attack. Health pickups don't show up until level 3, you have these first-person vehicle levels which are neat for the Game Boy Advance, but obstacles in these levels are too hard to avoid. The platforming here is bad, one simple slip-up will leave you falling to your death, or worse, having to redo a good chunk of this platforming. And speaking of death, when you die, you restart the whole level. And when you run out of lives, password. That's all I can take.
Understandable. This thing is bad.
You know, I've kind of realized recently, I've been pretty harsh on you. I mean, I've been pretty dramatic.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, all the whining I do, everything I whine about, I do like to some degree. Sometimes, though, it's just fun to rip things apart. You were great. You're incredibly fun on long car rides, trying to complete the last 2 multi-challenges, unlocking Deadpool, watching the cutscenes on a DS. I knew it wasn't great, but I still loved it all the way. Do you want to go on a walk? So nice these winter afternoons.
I remember going to space.
Oh yeah, was it fun?
Not really, since we were fighting the whole time.
Oh yeah, kinda forgot about that. Where'd you guys even go?
Jupiter.
Jupiter? That's my favorite planet.
You stupid boy! You forgot to lock me up, and now your end has come.
I don't think so, you stupid fucking piece of shit covered in plastic.
How about you come get me out here?
I'm good.
We need to lock this thing up.
But how do we get it back?
Try and stun it.
How?
I don't know. Stick part of your heart in its hole.
Okay.
I got it! We got it!
We're almost there. Keep going.
But we're not. Lock.
Man, what a pain.
You know what? Thank you. Thank you for your help. You honestly aren't that bad.
Thank you. This place is an absolute wreck.
I know, there isn't much space, but I make things work.
Yeah. Hey, how about we overtake the basement?
Oh?
Yeah, make it a game room with a modern TV and some consoles.
Oh?
And maybe a CRT for the retro stuff.
Oh?
Shelves to store everything on.
Oh?
An air hockey table.
Hell yeah, let's do it! Well, it's been a lot of work, but I like this place so far.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. I especially like how Dwayne's still here.
Xbox.
And hey, since it's around that time, I gotta do something.
You know what? We don't need this anymore. Well, things should be pretty much set up to start whining again. The question is, what do I whine about first?
Have you seen the 2022 Ninjago sets?
No. What the hell is this?
Not gonna lie, unlike others, I find next year's sets incredibly mediocre. Is this the worst wave? I mean, yeah, but they aren't all bad. The standout is the dojo. I adore location-based sets, and man, this is such a location. We even get Nia's hair in silver for Pixel. Speaking of Nia, tell me she's gone. Tell me she's gone! Then there's this huge Voltron-esque mech, which is stupid, but I like it. Lloyd's car looks like it could fit in my mouth. Jay's dragon is barf-inducing, Lloyd's dragon looks pretty damn neat, so that makes me the one person to like the set. Holy there's a helicopter in the Jay car. So is this wave good? No, definitely not, but there are a few decent sets, and a really good one.
And hey, if you don't like the sets, don't buy them!